Are you kidding me? There's a bug. Bug just flew in here right when I hit record. Now I have to kill it. Ah! Oh, he's out. Anyway, hey guys, what is going on? It is me, BikuriBox12 here. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about distractions, getting distracted, and how it can be a bigger element in our lives than maybe we give it credit for, and how it seems to be an ever-growing factor for a lot of people, and I myself have noticed it a lot in my personal life, and for many other people, but obviously I know myself the best. And I just wanted to touch upon that, just kind of talk about that for a few minutes, because I think it's pretty important, and it doesn't get enough credit, or it doesn't get the required attention that I think it needs. It happens to all of us. We get distracted, we start doing something, we sit down with the intention, with a certain goal in mind, and then we end up doing something else. Not consciously, we actually get distracted of what our current objective was and then go off to do something else. And that usually comes in smaller forms. Say you sit down at the computer to get some work done, but then you end up checking your email instead and browsing that for a couple of minutes, not realizing, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be getting work done. I mean, the amount of time that I've probably lost to that, I'll be working on a video or something, and then I end up checking the channel obsessively, subconsciously, like, oh, let's see what's going on. It's been 2 minutes. There's no way I have any new comments or any new things to see. It's been 2 minutes. Get your work done. That kind of stuff happens a lot, and I don't think I'm alone in saying that. However, that can get scary when important things start becoming compromised. When you start getting distracted from the things that really matter to you, not keeping up with your responsibilities, falling behind. It seems like, I want to say before I was 10 years old, I had never heard the word procrastination in my life. And as soon as I did, everybody was using it. As if everybody is some exception to the rule, like, oh yeah, I'm a procrastinator. I heard so many people say that growing up, like middle school and on. And it's like, they say that almost like it's a special thing. Like, oh, I'm different from other people. I'm not a model student. But everyone has it. Everyone's lazy. It's just one of the many, like, who wouldn't want to be? We all have lazy days because work is hard. It's tough, and we want to have a break. We all need a break. That's normal. But this generation, specifically my generation, the one before it maybe, and definitely the ones after, we kind of have it easy in a lot of respects. A lot of the hard manual labor work, whenever I say work, that's mainly what I mean, is sort of done for us. A lot of it is technology. We have constant sources of entertainment and information at our fingertips. Like, you can hardly go 2 feet without being able to pull up a Wikipedia article on something. And I think that whenever you have this overabundance of information, you kind of don't really appreciate how much work really goes into a lot of things. And that can lead to a lack of ambition. When there's a lack of appreciation, things are less valuable. Things don't mean as much. Things are a lot faster and a lot more readily available now. And the reason I bring that up is because that's kind of a big contributing factor to why we get so distracted all the time. In my case, I'm often juggling 5 different projects at once. I can't seem to focus on one thing and get it done. And it's all because I have the ability to work on 5 things at once. If I was only allowed to work on one thing at one time, I would probably only work on one thing at one time. But the only reason that I bring all of this up is because I know how easy it is to lose sight of what you really want to work on and lose time to these mindless distractions. Like, balancing more than one project at one time is one thing, but when you're working on something really important and you're getting distracted by pretty trivial things, whether it be checking your phone every 5 minutes or straight up spacing out and not being able to focus on what you're doing, you can lose a lot of time to that. And by the end of it, you realize, wow, I could have got this done way faster. I spent a lot of my time doing nothing. And that's the ultimate problem. And it's okay to have fun. I'm not saying like every hour should be maximized in its efficiency, but the last thing you want to say is, man, I did nothing today. Like, nothing? Like, even, do you have fun? Do you like watch a movie? Or, no, I just didn't do anything. That's the worst. I've had so many days like that, because now that I have like my time to myself and I'm not being ruled by a school clock at all times, you're your own boss, you're your own person, you're an adult, you have to make decisions on your own, and you're like, wow, shoot, that's harder than I thought. And time management is one of the biggest difficulties I face as an adult. Just as a human being in general, whenever someone else isn't ruling my schedule and balancing everything out for me, it's like, oh wow, there's actually a lot of thought that goes into it. And as you get older, there are more things that you want to do, more things that you need to do. And you gotta learn to manage it. Good time management, I think, is one of the most important skills you can have in life, because it allows you to balance out everything else. Like, what good are all of those other aspects of your life if you can't even find the time to appreciate them? You gotta set time aside for it. And the better that you are at time management, the more time you'll have. Now again, all distractions aren't bad. They're usually in the more minor scale. Like you went to go watch TV, and then you're like, oh shoot, wait, I gotta make dinner. Those are things that don't really matter. It's whenever it starts infiltrating your life and appreciation for that life. That's when it's a problem. When it starts getting in the way of what you do and what you want to do, things that matter to you. On the flip side, you can kind of look at it from a reversed perspective where getting distracted is actually beneficial to you. Whenever you're working too intently on something, not taking a step back to see the bigger picture, I've talked about that before. Sometimes a good distraction is what you need because what you're focusing on isn't really important. You might think it is, but you don't realize that until you finally take a step away and are like, wow, okay, yeah, there's more here. I was very narrow-minded about this and thought that this is all that there was. But there's a lot more that I want, that I didn't know I wanted until I saw it. And so in that respect, sometimes a distraction is necessary. And being able to recognize when and when not to be distracted is critical, I think, to leading a healthy, balanced life. I know I certainly haven't mastered it. I've got a long way to go, and I don't think true balance is really something that is fully attainable. We're human beings, we're flawed, we're not supposed to be perfect. It's all about the journey, right? But that doesn't mean we shouldn't strive for it. It's something to work towards. It's something to always be working towards. Even if you don't think you'll ever reach it, you gotta try. Otherwise, what are you really doing with your time here? I'm far from the most experienced guy out there when it comes to life lessons, but take it from me when I say, manage your time well. I don't really like whenever people use the phrase, you only live once, because that implies you gotta do something dumb and reckless because you only have one chance. I think you got one life, do what you love, and do it smart. Keep your eye on the ball and know what's important. And always remember that. Life is full of distractions, full of things to deter you from your course. And sometimes it might even be right. Maybe this isn't what your focus should be, what you should revolve your life around. Maybe you need to widen your scope. Maybe you gotta shift directions entirely. At my age especially, it's a time where you're figuring out what the heck you're gonna do with the rest of your life. You know, you think whenever you're younger, oh, I wanna be this whenever I grow up. This is what I wanna do. And all through high school, I had a pretty similar idea what I wanted to do. It was based in drawing, art, animation. I love drawing all my life. From 5 to 15 was pretty much just constant. But then I started getting more into video editing and thought, hey, maybe I want to make movies. I said that, make movies. And then I realized I don't even watch movies in my spare time. I'm not a movie guy. I just kind of like doing my stuff. And then I play video games more. I'm like, oh, maybe making video games would be fun. I'm like, no, it's not quite my thing either. And then it only evolved more over time and kind of got settled on voiceover. That's really cool. I like that. It feels like I shifted my direction entirely, right? I had my eye on one thing for my whole life, and then it just changed at a moment's notice and realized I actually wanted something else. And the other thing that I thought I wanted just doesn't fulfill me as much as I thought it would. But the funny thing is, no matter how much you change, you do always stay in the same realm. You are always you. You're not going to be that different. Some people may be exceptions to that. Maybe they make a total 180 in their life. That's fine. Hopefully for the better, too. But you usually stay true to yourself. I may have wanted to do animation and changed over to voiceover, but cartoons need both. You need an animator and a guy to give voices to the characters. They aren't so different. It can feel different, and it is a different thing. But it's not far from what you wanted. You're just fulfilling yourself in a different way. Wow, yeah, okay, this is... I kind of jogged my memory a little bit beforehand thinking, okay, I'm going to talk about this stuff, and I went. But you know, that's how the best stuff is made, right? Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching my little tangent ramble about getting distracted. That's my major point. It's just days go by sometimes whenever I feel like I get nothing done, and it's entirely my fault. And it feels horrible. It feels like I'm just not getting anywhere. And I don't want anyone else to have to feel that way, especially whenever it's entirely within their power to change that. I'm not a believer that we have a huge degree of input over our lives. There's so much out of our control that we just have to roll with. You can't get mad over, it raining on your birthday. You just got to plan around it. You can't control it. But you can find ways around it. You do have input over your own actions. You can do things, and those things have consequences and effects. So if anything, take good action in your life. Do something. Don't just do nothing. It doesn't feel good. You want to make something of yourself. Want to make use of your time. Okay, that's it. I'm done now. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to check out the next episode whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. All right. See ya.